need to like have a once I'm through with season
What
4.
a twist.
Yeah, Black Panther. I mean, I don't really like. I don't think I need to have a spoiler discussion.
No, it's easy to talk around.
It's very there's
because it's a Marvel movie, so the plot's the same as every other Marvel movie.
well, I mean, whatever, superhero save the day, but we don't need to like have a spoiler cast necessarily because I feel like there's nothing to really,
Nothing talk about
that's gonna break
ruin a
plot
movie.
for you.
Absolutely not. No.
So, that was a really great movie. That was
I really, really enjoyed it.
It was fun.
It was very, very good, and I think the soundtrack was incredible.
Yep,
and I feel
the
like
visual design was astonishing.
Art direction was really nice.
It feels like they are like almost like they saw those videos where they're like, no one remembers any Marvel themes or music from the MCU movies.
And the other video essay about the color grading in Marvel movies.
We were talking about this.
And so it feels like you're seeing like violent departures from that, starting with Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's like super neon with a soundtrack, right? And then you get into Thor Ragnarok, which is again 80s.
I saw that on the
Jack Kirby shit
with a soundtrack.
It was great.
So like they're basically like taking all that criticism to heart, and now again we see Black Panther with an incredible soundtrack with Kendrick fucking doing dirt. So that was dope.
The whole movie I kept waiting for lyrics to drop.
Yeah.
And they never
I know
did.
what you mean. But like you get that awesome like brass kicking in, and like anytime you're watching a scene and then like you're into it, but then your head starts bobbing,
right?
It's like fuck, they're doing it, man. They're making it work. So yeah, that was great. The the obvious bits and pieces, right? Like I feel like you get to see the interesting thing about him when he was first introduced as like a character, like they
talking about T'Challa.
I feel like they like took the opportunity and explored the right bits. And my concern, I remember, like with like how do you make Wakanda work on film? They figured it out.
Yep,
they did it.
It was fine.
We were hidden the whole time.
You film like the least expensive thing ever in the dirt roads, and then you go into just like CG land.
Yep.
But you don't spend too much time in CG land.
Not too much time.
You can drop down to the streets for a little bit, but then back up.
There's a lab.
And then back up to the throne room. That's how you save. That's how you save money.
Speaking of saving money, some of the CG
was bad.
Oh,
just bad.
There was a bit
rhinoceros.
Yeah,
that's the bit. There was a bit near the end of it. I think I turned to Pat and I went, "This is reminding me of Lord of the Rings 2 with the Warg Riders."
And it's like that was like 20 years ago.
Rhinoceros.
Right? Yeah. It was glaring. And the other bit I noticed, again, this is kind of like nitpicks, I guess, but was when the ceremony was going on and everyone's dancing on the mountain.
Yeah,
I was like, that ain't real.
The positioning that they got into for sure. It reminded me of like, God, there's a couple things like that, but like my brain goes to that scene in Spawn where he goes to hell and he's talking to Malebolgia.
That scene sucks.
And they're panning around the giant CG like walls, and all the demons are on the walls.
So good.
It's like one of those things.
Oh, it's like PS1.
Little bit.
I want to get the negatives for me out of the way first. It's like it has every problem that every Marvel movie has.
Oh, sure.
The villain is the same person as the hero. Like, they have the same powers. They're exactly the same person.
But
right? The plot is the most see-through shit ever. There are weird face turns for no reason at all. That's the one disappointing thing about the conclusion. But unlike how every other Marvel movie's problem, except for Guardians 2, this is a good villain.
There we go.
Very good villain.
The villain was great.
With an incredibly solid reason for being a villain that I can't even disagree with.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like he is a murderer, but he has a purpose, and you're like, at some points you're like, huh.
I can be like, yeah, here's the dot, and there's the dot, and there's the dot, and there.
Yep.
And I love that you have this whole movie of these noble African royalty folks that have these thick, cool accents, and they're talking all fancy and shit. And well, who's our villain? Our villain is this fucking guy from Oakland. Right?
Yeah.
And when we were walking out to Clemps, I'm like, man, that's so awesome because you have all these superhero shit and all this royalty, and then it's like some asshole stepped off the wire and just he's the villain. And then I took a couple steps and I was like, Fuck! That asshole did step off the wire. That's Wallace.
And then there's the line.
Yeah.
Where, like, your chest just goes...
So the bad guy loses, but he wins with his final line. He wins the day.
Yeah. Ouchie.
That's loud sweating. That's a look around the theater and watch everyone shift in their seats.
And Black Panther kind of looks down. He's like, oh, that's so good. Fuck.
Yeah. So that's there's some shit.
I definitely
there's some feels.
I really do agree with the whole thing where it's similar to Black Panther. And the thing which got me is that when he wasn't the Black Panther, his outfit was great.
Yeah.
Like he had the mask on and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're gonna incorporate that into the costume. Nah, it's Black Panther
it's the way he put on the other outfit.
The gold one that's shiny.
But there's some really awesome stuff. Like the trailer shots, you got to see like some of the color their usage in like creative ways, but like seeing the dreamscape, like the purple skies and certain things, and like it was very pretty.
One of the things that when you get to the end of the movie and you're like, we're gonna have a big fucking scene and there's gonna be 1,000 people and half of them are gonna fucking wear bright aqua blue, and the other half are gonna wear this mauve kind of super dark wine red, and you're gonna see what's happening. And it's the most like obvious shit ever.
Oh, speaking of the bit which I was like, oh come on guys, was when they go to and it's like we need you to help us. And then they go, no. If you watch them all.
But I say for me, it's like, okay, so shout outs to Okoye for making the movie for me.
Yeah. That's the sister?
No. Okoye is the guard, the bodyguard. Bald.
I forget every character's name in the fucking movie.
The bald chick with the spear.
Yeah, she's cool.
That's a badass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is incredible. And then
didn't care for the love interest much, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah, she was kind of there.
That's fine. And of course and then oh my god, the way that because here's the thing, right? Black Panther villains not super great.
He's got one of those problems.
Kind of not great.
What are some Black Panther villains? I'm going to assume Killmonger's one.
Well, Killmonger's one, and guess what? Not that great. Kind of lame.
Oh, no.
Right? Origins that are pretty bad, right? But then we fix them with real shit.
With story.
Right? And then similarly, you have other Black Panther villains like M'Baku, a.k.a. the original character from the comics, Man-Ape.
Oh.
That explains that.
Yes! Yeah. But he's not Man-Ape now.
Oh!
He's just an ape-themed badass.
Yeah.
Hanging out. Yeah. But originally, that was Man-Ape.
I could see that character's inclusion being kind of weird in a movie that wasn't made like this one was.
So that's the character's name, and that was what he came from. And it was like, oh God, please don't.
And then they're like, M'Baku's in the movie, and you're like,
wow. Sweating.
Right? Like, how are we gonna, and then it's more than fine. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
So, shout outs to Black Vikings. Without being ridiculous about it, because that's a concept that makes no sense.
Thing that happens,
but you know what I mean?
A lot of the people
if you've seen it,
around Black Panther have these wild art styles that are way more interesting than Black Panther's suit.
All right.
Black Panther's suit has clearly been designed to not look like the most wild fucking thing next to everybody else in the MCU. So his suit's like a normal superhero suit, but everyone around him is just fucking cooler. Vibrant. Like the paint and
it's because we've seen like the whole fusion of old world, new world stuff. We've seen different versions of it. We've seen fusion of old world like Japanese and Asian like things with futuristic stuff, and we've seen it with like British, and European world and things like that. You haven't really seen like neo future tech Africa.
That's right.
Combined with old things. So the fact that they get to explore this entire, like, I'm not gonna say untouched, but like relatively unexplored.
Yeah.
World of like
interesting.
bringing out different tribes and different African looks and combining it with like tech and CG, you know, and sometimes again you're way CG'd up and it's like, ooh, that's a little too shiny.
You did.
You know,
You did a little too much.
a little too, yeah. But other times it's like that's a really cool version of that.
We're gonna have a big rhino scene. It's gonna be really dramatic.
Also fun is looking
like-
at the people walking around in the background of, you know, Cyber Africa.
Yeah.
Like just literally like the average Wakandan.
Yeah.
And there's like mixture of fashions and crazy things.
All
yeah,
sorts of weird shit.
yeah, all kinds of weird stuff. And you're like,
Right?
okay, the background people are interesting. That's you know.
Very vibrant movie. You don't want to take your
I
eyes
saw a
off
blue
it.
afro and I was like, yeah. That's my speed.
Yeah, why not? We got future dyes.
Yeah.
Fucking do whatever.
We got magic.
Yeah. It's essentially fucking
It's magic.
It's
So yeah, man. You know, that thing is crushing it, and it's fifth greatest, like largest opening.
Wow, really?
Like yeah, it's pretty much behind Star Wars, Avengers, and Jurassic World.
like it's
okay.
it's a really, I think it's a pretty good movie. I don't think it's the best. But like, even if it's one of those things, it's like, let's say it's an 8, right?
Yeah.
Or 7.5 even. But I'd say it's an 8.
But you get the ghost push.
But not even that. I'd be like, but it's worth seeing just because the art is new.
Yeah,
right?
well-
it doesn't look
Yeah,
like every other
yeah.
fucking movie.
I put Blade Runner in the same category, right?
Yeah.
Like the new Blade Runner is absolutely needs to be seen for the art.
Yeah.
On its own, it's worth seeing just for that. But the
need to
rest
get
of
on
it is
that.
actually fine too. You know. But in Black Panther's case, of course, there's the actual like. Outside of all that, the rarity of the moment,
Yeah.
you know, which pushes it beyond where like people are like, oh shit, this is a movie that is, you know, entirely black made and entirely black
So-
director and soundtrack and like top to bottom. So it's the rarity of the moment pushes it a little bit further than it would have been otherwise.
So there was part of me that it's like, okay, this is being pushed. This isn't just a movie about a black guy. This is a fucking black movie, right? And I'm like,
called Black Panther.
and I am like, I'm going to theater and it's like, I think the thing that would probably disappoint me the most is if we get in there and it's like, it's a black movie, but an executive guy was like, maybe tone down the fucking...
There's that.
There is no fear of that
Yeah,
shit.
there's that. There's the what if we tone it down thing. But more than that, I could like especially since like MCU has been on its stride and
Yeah.
it knows exactly what it's doing. I definitely felt that they looked at it and went like, no, we're not pulling any punches.
Yeah.
Right? Why would you? Like for a movie like that, it makes
just
no
saying,
sense to.
There's some topics in this film that go wild in
Certainly.
a way that I did not anticipate.
Okay.
And was very happy to see.
Yeah. But what I was like actually thinking about like way back was like there's a lot of like pressure and build up, and the whole thing is like again it's being pushed as this major like you know black production. There's political things happening behind this movie in a way.
Black director, you got Angela Bassett, you got not Lawrence Fishburne, it's the guy with the eye, Whitaker,
Forrest Whitaker. You got all that going on.
Classy people.
Exactly. So there's a whole big thing, and everyone's pretty much like, you know what I mean? Like someone made a bad review, and everyone was like, "Rah, kill him!"
Everyone was on him.
like,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so there's also like there's like hopes and expectations, and there's ridiculous tweets, like crazy ass fucking people going, "Hey, white folks, get your asses out of the theaters!
seen
Don't
that.
be around.
Yeah.
Let black people have their moment." And it's like, you are a crazy person. You are a crazy person. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say.
But what about the DC fans?
Holy fuck, you crazy! And then there's those crazy people too, right?
We gotta bomb it just to make DC better.
So all of that's happening, and all this is stewing, and then in my head, a little quiet whisper, as loud as and as thunderous as possible, goes, "What if it sucks?
What if it sucks?
And you go, "Oh no!"
So I had that feeling coming in, like before I went to see it, it's like, what if I'm the only person that hates this movie?
I was exactly the same.
yeah.
What if
now?
What if
I was the same.
Are you allowed?
Right?
What do you mean you hate Black Panther?
what if I come into the podcast and it's universally
Oh, dude!
and I'm the only person that hates it?
And that kind of sucks. I left
That-
it going, thank God I loved it. I should say, thank God I liked it. Because I was like, well, what if...
that is some funny shit.
Because I was thinking, like, what if I went on the podcast and I say, like, I just didn't like... And then it just... Goodbye, Clemps. Like,
and it's like they held the movie up as like a pedestal of black movie making, and so it's like it's this fucking thing. And it's
oh my god!
It's like no, it's pretty good. The villain is the best part of the whole movie,
totally.
And I wish he was in it more. That's probably the biggest flaw of the whole flick. Is that
I think he got his due, but ultimately
there's like a 30-minute span where he just doesn't appear at all.
But there's a very good middle that I'll say that like when he's like ascending, if you will.
when he's on screen every single
when he's doing it, ripping a tear through everything.
Yeah.
They do a really good job, like breaking the character down for you. So shout outs to Michael B. Jordan for like finally landing on the right side of Marvel.
That's correct. Where was he at before?
Human Torch.
Oh no!
Everyone forgets Michael B. Jordan was the Human Torch. He was already a Marvel character.
Ooh.
He was in that
but for
Fantastic Four.
But yeah, who owns that now?
That was the Fox thing.
Interesting.
So, yep.
Wow.
We got to just do that over.
The Fantastic Four record continues with Human Torch and Human Torch.
Yeah.
becoming better Marvel characters.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So no. Yeah, man, good stuff. Absolutely. And I guess I was I was wondering, like, I'm like, okay, and what are your Marvel tie-ins going to be in terms of like, like to the rest of the thing?
Oh, it was
super minimal.
It was weak.
Super minimal.
Like, so how do I put this? Before me and Clemps went to the movie, I was telling Clemps, "Oh, don't forget that thing happened. That's going to be in the movie for a second."
Yeah.
And then that was the fucking end of the movie. I'm like, oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Good job, Black Panther.
Hooray.
Good job. Truly, to answer Peele's tweet about like he's like, hey, for those who have seen Get Out, what is the opposite of the sunken place? And the top-rated response was Wakanda.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, okay, all right.
I still gotta fucking see Get Out.
I do too.
Yeah. Well, that landed on deaf ears. Okay.
Well, people in the audience probably care.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Get Out is about the opposite of Wakanda.
Got it. I don't like that.
Yeah. How about that?
That sounds sad. Oh.
We
We got some stories, man.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, you know what that means.